spent some time with the Lakers as well. They've been in the headlines all the wrong reasons. A lot of drama out there in L.A. Obviously, Magic stepping down, hiring a new coach. How do you think LeBron should feel right now?
What the hell did I get myself into? You know, LA is a lot, and people don't understand. Basketball is important, but there's so much more to it when you're in LA. What worries me the most about the Lakers is management and uncertainty. I know championships start at the top, and it's been very shaky, to say the least, from a management standpoint. So, you know, they have their coach now, whether people agree with Vogel or not. Jay Kidd's the assistant. They're moving past that. Can they attract key free agents knowing that the front office has been in shambles, especially realizing that right next door with the Clippers, everything is lined up beautifully?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Matt,
right there.
Matt, I need you to speak to something here because it's very important. And Max, feel free to chime in as well. Matt, I got to ask you this, as somebody that's very familiar with L.A. This is one of the things that I noticed, and I want to preface my comments by saying I don't believe any of this is LeBron's fault. He is not at fault here. But because he's been very, very clear that it's not just about basketball, it's about outside ventures in Hollywood as well. That Laker fan base, you see a lot of directors, a lot of producers, a lot of power brokers that show up at the Staples Center. You've got a lot of people right now not liking LeBron James and literally are damn near rooting against him because they want the Lakers to be more of a priority for him than anything else. I want to know, that's what I've heard. It's what I've been told directly, and to some degree from the outside, I'm seeing some of this materialize before my very eyes. I want to know what you're noticing, Matt, and what you've heard and how you feel about that notion.
I mean, I think we've always been more than athletes, and for anyone to have a problem with what LeBron's doing, it's not like he's putting out a bad product on the floor. You know, when he's not hurt, when he's out there, he still does what LeBron does. And he's always been doing ventures, and he's not the only one to do ventures. I think everyone is just scrutinizing it now because they had a down season. But LeBron has been in business. He's been one of the most successful businessmen this game has ever seen. But I think now that he's in LA, the team had a down year. Now, LeBron's focus isn't. His focus has always been basketball, but he's talented enough to have multiple focuses. So I think that people have to understand it's less LeBron. I think the only thing I point my finger at LeBron.
But I'm asking you, are you hearing the same things? Are you hearing those things?
I hear it, but
like I've been hearing.
I've been in LA so long, you hear so much stuff. You know what I mean? So you let it go in one ear, out the other. All those people talking don't really matter because when LeBron plays, LeBron plays.
But Matt, one thing I think you're giving the short shrift to here is when he was in Cleveland originally. Like, you can't just compare it to a vacuum, right? Like, when he's in Cleveland originally, he was so mad that they wouldn't get him a crew. He left, and he went to Miami, not just to play with his friends on South Beach. His friends were some of the best basketball players in the world.
Right.
His focus was winning a championship and more, and he won 2. Then he went back to Cleveland. Well, not just to return home, but because they kept getting the #1 draft pick. They had Kyrie Irving, and they had enough stuff to go get Kevin Love. It was basketball when he went back to Cleveland. This was not a basketball decision to go to L.A. Pretty clearly was not the motivating force, the driving factor was not basketball. And so now he's there, and you kind of reap what you sow, right? Like, that's what I think people are reacting to.
But I think LeBron, more than anyone, understood this was going to be a process. I think people that don't play basketball think, oh, my God, we got LeBron James now. You know, the sun is going to set and rise on our team now. And it takes a while to get chemistry. And I think the injuries they had throughout the season never allowed their core to really play together and gain that chemistry they needed. So it happens. I think he knows it's going to be a 2 or 3 year process. I look at if they can wipe management away and get everything going on track, I think they're going to be in contention, not just next year, but the year after and
Stephen
fourth
A,
year.
basically, as long as they don't do something stupid like hire 2 head coaches and make one an assistant.
Forget that. Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Magic Johnson abruptly walking away, and how do you believe LeBron should feel about that?
I think it was a shock. I wouldn't say disappointment. I think more shock than anything. You know, I think Magic was an integral piece of getting LeBron there, and for the ship to sink, so to speak, and for the captain, Magic, to jump off and just say, hey, I got to go. I think LeBron should feel away, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that at some point they'll talk. They'll understand the situation, you know, with Rob Pelinka and the backstabbing and the reason why Magic. I felt like Magic was like, if you guys are going to let me do and move and fire and hire who I want, I'm done being the bulletproof vest for this franchise. I don't need it. I've got money. I live a good life. Everyone loves me. I'm the Magic Man. I smile. I light up the room. So if you guys are going to let me make my moves, I'm not going to
That's
continue
really
to take
interesting.
bullets for you guys.
Stephen A., that's an interesting take, right? Like Magic was being used as the bulletproof vest.
He was the shield, and they weren't allowing him.
He wasn't gonna get
wanted
used.
he wanted to get Rob out. He wanted to get Luke out. They weren't allowing him to, but still, Magic was the one taking all the heat. So if you guys are going to allow me to make the moves I want to make with my basketball mind, granted, I may not be in the office as much as you guys like. I'm done this, and I understand. Like I said, there's a time and place for everything. I think if he should have told anybody, it should have been LeBron.